Hey, buy me a lottery ticket when you go out to buy groceries later. The numbers are the same as last time. I held the lottery ticket from the previous issue, and my hand unconsciously loosened. The old lottery ticket in my hand gently slipped to the ground. My husband, Von Scherhang, looked at me with disdain. TSK, you really can't do any small things now. You can't even hold a lottery ticket steadily. My father-in-law rubbed his toes on the side, pulling the corner of his mouth and smiling contemptuously. People are getting stupider and stupider when they enjoy themselves at home all day long. I looked at the old lottery ticket on the ground in a trance, and the numbers on it were blurred, just like when my vision was blurred during my serious illness. I shook my head vigorously and quickly bent down to pick up the lottery ticket. Under their endless verbal attacks, I held the lottery number that could change my destiny tightly, and left the suffocating home without looking back. I walked quickly to the gate of the community, panting and bending down to rest for a while. I raised my hand to look at my rough but powerful hands and pinched my round face. If I hadn't experienced the last life of being bedridden and tortured by illness to the point of being unrecognizable, I couldn't believe that I was reborn at this moment. Without hesitation, I took a taxi with this winning lottery ticket in my hand and went straight to a remote lottery shop in this city. I wanted to buy this set of numbers. How much can I buy at most? I wrote down the numbers engraved in my memory on a piece of paper. This was the combination that Von Scherhang usually bought, with the two numbers in the back area changed to the first prize combination. In his last life, he won the second prize with a price of 700 yuan. He immediately bought a new car, satisfying the wishes of the whole family, except for me. Until I became ill from overwork and my life was hanging by a thread, they were still unwilling to take out money to save me and watch me die of illness. In this life, I will not only let you taste the bitterness of a beautiful dream being shattered, but also stay away from the unlucky family, and let you fend for yourself. The maximum amount you can buy for a single ticket is 60,000 yuan. Are you sure you want to buy so much? I thought for a moment. If I won the highest prize in the world based on my memory, it would definitely attract the attention of others. It's better to keep a low profile. No, I'm just asking out of curiosity. I'll just buy 3 tickets. According to the current prize pool, the first prize for buying 3 tickets is already 15 million. I quickly bought the lottery ticket. I held the lottery ticket that could change my destiny, and then I began to think about how to keep it properly. I married far away and have never worked. I can say that I don't have many friends here. Von Scherhang's family took advantage of this weakness of mine and used me, belittling me unscrupulously. I understood the process and location of claiming the prize, and decided to rent a fully decorated apartment near the prize-claiming place. I made an appointment with the agent to take a look at the security and environment of the community, and soon gave 3 months of rent and a deposit. Sitting in the apartment, I felt that I had a place of my own in this city. I have always been frugal, so I decided to choose this room. The first time I saw the river view, it was rare for the agent to meet a tenant as straightforward as me. After collecting the rent, he gave me the key directly. For safety, I chose to change the door lock at my own expense and replaced it with a password lock with good anti-theft performance. After handling all this, I locked the lottery ticket in the apartment with confidence and took a taxi back to the original market to buy vegetables. In order to reassure P.H. Scherhang, I bought a machine-selected lottery ticket at the lottery shop at the entrance of the market. As soon as I opened the door, I saw P.H. Scherhang lying on the sofa and watching videos with a smile. I waved 2 lottery tickets in front of him. Honey, I bought the lottery ticket. Where do I put it? Fon Shang was interrupted by me and said impatiently, I usually put it in my coat pocket. Why do you still ask? It took you so long to buy vegetables. Did you take the opportunity to go out and be lazy? I deliberately made a noise and put the lottery ticket into my clothes. Then I said coldly, Am I the nanny of this family? Have you paid me? F. Scherhang was directly contradicted by me for the first time. His face was stunned. What do you mean? I am not an employee. Why should I be lazy? He paused and didn't know how to respond for a while. When my mother-in-law heard this, she pointed at me with a mean face and scolded me. There are so many things to do at home, and you ran out for most of the day without saying a word. If you are not lazy, what is it? I put the dishes in the kitchen, came out and glanced at her, replying, "No one in the family will move, right? All these things are waiting for me to do." My mother-in-law was furious, and her voice unconsciously raised. She yelled at me, "We spent so much money to marry you back, not for you to show off. You don't work and expect my son to support you, so you just take care of the housework. Honestly, I tell you, if you can live, live. If you can't, divorce. My son can still marry a young girl after the divorce." I didn't care and sneered, "Don't talk about your son. Your husband can also marry a young girl after the divorce." My mother-in-law was so angry that she patted her chest, raised her hand, and pointed at me, trembling. You. Non-stop. Ph. Shang interrupted the argument between me and my mother-in-law. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and cook. I'm hungry." I stopped arguing with my mother-in-law and turned to walk into the kitchen. He snorted disdainfully and continued to watch videos on his phone. My son, Feng Junyang, came home from school and put down his school bag. He threw his school bag and coat in my direction. This time, I was so indifferent that I didn't reach out to catch them. The school bag and coat were just thrown at my feet. He muttered unhappily, "Pick them up quickly. You can't even do such a small thing." I looked at the ground indifferently. Seeing that I didn't move, he yelled at me, "Pick it up for me." I kicked the school bag out of the kitchen without even looking at him. He was so angry that he yelled, "Are you crazy, woman?" I responded coldly, "I'm your mother, not this woman. You stupid woman who knows nothing. If my father didn't want you, you would have been sweeping the streets long ago." I ignored his crazy talk and took a few deep breaths to adjust my mood. Today, in order to celebrate my rebirth, I bought all the dishes I like to eat, so I can't waste such good ingredients. Looking at the spicy and fresh food on the table, I picked up the chopsticks with satisfaction and prepared to eat heartily. Feng Junyang was the first to express dissatisfaction and slapped the chopsticks on the ground. "Why is there nothing I like? I won't eat it." My mother-in-law fiddled with the dishes in front of her with disdain, found a piece of pork belly in a pile of peppers, and spit it out as soon as she put it in her mouth. "Ahem. Didn't I tell you that we can't eat spicy food? But you still made it so spicy. Are you deliberately against us?" I ignored it and picked up the spicy shrimp in front of me and took a bite. The shrimp shell was crispy, and the shrimp meat was slightly spicy. This long-lost flavor made me ignore my mother-in-law's picky face. "Susan, can't you hear my mother talking to you? How can we eat these dishes?" After swallowing a shrimp, I pretended to be stupid and replied, "Such delicious dishes, how can we not eat them? You are the only one in the family who eats spicy food. Who will eat these spicy dishes? You also know that I like spicy food, so of course I will eat it. Aren't these dishes not spicy?" Shiheng pushed the green vegetables in front of him with disdain. "It's so plain even dogs won't eat it." I smirked and replied, "Well then, it's reasonable for you not to eat it." My father-in-law glared at me, threw away his chopsticks, stood up, picked up his coat, and opened the door to go out. Seeing this, Feng Junyang quickly stood up and followed. "Grandpa, wait for me." Shiheng and my mother-in-law also stood up and left the table. Before leaving, they said viciously, "This meal cannot be counted in the food expenses. I will deduct it from you next month." I tilted my head and raised my eyebrows, not taking his threat seriously at all. I enjoyed the first delicious meal after rebirth happily. After eating, I cleaned up the kitchen and went back to the bedroom. Without waiting for them to come back, I picked up the tablet and started to check the recent hot spots, and made plans for the development of my future life. When Shiheng and his family came back and saw the dark living room and quiet home, they thought I had fallen asleep, so my mother-in-law started to complain about me. "Your wife is getting more and more arrogant. She eats and wears our clothes, but she doesn't behave herself and is getting more and more arrogant." My father-in-law echoed, "If you don't teach her a lesson now, she will soon step on your head." Feng Shiheng thought for a moment and said viciously, "When I get rich one day, I will kick her out of the house first." I sat in the bedroom and smirked. It's not certain who will kick whom out of the house. In my previous life, I didn't understand the law and didn't know that I had the right to dispose of the common property of the couple. If he didn't give me money to treat my illness, I would be helpless. After understanding it thoroughly, in this life, I must find a way to keep him away from it. I put down the tablet and looked forward to the lottery tomorrow. Fan Xiang is an old lottery player. The time of the lottery has been engraved in his mind. As soon as it was announced, he opened his mobile phone to check. "Oh, I won." After he exclaimed, my parents-in-law came out of the bedroom and asked curiously, "Son, you are so happy. Did you win a lot?" Fan Shiheng glanced at me, stood up, and pulled my parents-in-law into the bedroom quietly. I immediately followed them on tiptoe and stood by the door to eavesdrop. "I won 700,000. Mother-in-law exclaimed. 70. Father-in-law immediately stopped her. "Shh. Keep your voice down. Son, take the prize first and put it in your pocket." "Okay, I'll go right away." Hearing this, I quickly flashed back to our bedroom, and Fan Shiheng came in right behind him, took his coat, and left without saying a word. However, Fan Xiang came back angrily not long after he left. "The lottery ticket you gave me is an old one. Where is the new one?" he yelled at me. I looked in disbelief. How could it be an old one? You clearly saw me put both the new and old lottery tickets into my pocket. Fan Shiheng grabbed my collar and said, "Don't try to fool me. I went to the lottery shop, and they said the lottery ticket I gave you was old and expired." I was shocked but remained calm on the surface. Fan Shiheng, calm down. "I am sure that the lottery ticket I gave you was newly bought. Did you accidentally lose it when you went out?" Fan Shiheng's eyes widened. "I checked my pocket when I went out, and the lottery ticket was clearly in it. You must have tampered with it." I insisted. "I didn't touch your lottery ticket. You were too excited and didn't find it clearly. Otherwise, you can look for it carefully again." Fan Shiheng began to search his coat pocket angrily, but he couldn't find the newly bought lottery ticket. After searching for a long time, he got even angrier. "Look, I've searched all my pockets, but there's no lottery ticket." I pretended to be unaware of the situation and asked, "How much did you win? Why are you so nervous?" He yelled at me. "I won the second prize, 70,000. I was shocked and wide-eyed and shouted in panic, "Oh my God! Why are you still standing there? Hurry up." I looked for it under my deception. The whole family searched the house like crazy, but the lottery ticket with the machine-selected numbers had been taken away. When I pretended to put it in my pocket and took my hand out, it was already in the sewer. No matter how hard they searched, they couldn't find it, and I insisted that I had bought it for him, so he had no evidence and couldn't do anything to me. Seeing that we had almost finished searching, everyone was very irritable, so I took the initiative to say, "It seems to have been thrown outside. I'll go out and look for it." Looking at the messy house, I didn't want to clean it up alone. Later, I went out and had a comfortable meal. I found a printing shop to print out the things I needed, put them in envelopes, and went home slowly. The house was quiet. It seemed that they were hungry after looking for the lottery tickets, so they went out to eat. This was really God's help. I hurried back to the bedroom to put the envelope away and pack up my personal belongings. They returned home just after they were done. Seeing their depressed faces, they must have gone out to look for it. Shiheng saw me coming out of the bedroom and suddenly got angry. He rushed over, pointed at me and yelled, "Did you know that the lottery ticket won the prize, so you took it away secretly?" While my parents and I went in, I was not to be outdone and yelled back at him. "Didn't I help find it too? If you still don't believe it, call the police to arrest me. I gave you the lottery ticket last night. How many places have you been to so far? You don't even know where you lost it. You just know how to get angry at me. What kind of man are you?" Shiheng was choked by my words and was speechless for a while. He obviously didn't expect me to refute so strongly. He pointed at my hand and trembled, so angry that he couldn't speak. I sneered, but I was thinking about the next plan in my heart. Seeing him panting, I suppressed my anger and comforted him. "Husband, calm down. Let's think about it first. Where else could the lottery ticket be?" I tried to stay calm and attempted to calm his anger. "Don't try to change the subject. The house has been turned upside down and still can't be found. I ask you, where is the lottery ticket?" He was furious and obviously didn't want to hear any explanation. "I really don't know. Think about it carefully. Who else have you talked about your lottery ticket with besides our family? I tried to calm him down and divert his attention from me. He thought for a moment, picked up his coat, and rushed out of the house. He said he asked his brothers to drink last night, and it is likely that he took the last opportunity to go out to find them. Out of sight, out of mind. I was happy to be free. If I can't see F. Sure hang, my mother-in-law wouldn't let me off so easily. Sean, what are you doing? Hurry up and clean up the house. Look how messy it is. I responded obediently and started to clean up quickly. After moving 2 drawers, I stood up suddenly. I staggered a few steps and fell towards my mother-in-law, who was supervising on the side. Hey, what's wrong with you? I pretended to be unconscious and pressed my whole body against my mother-in-law, and we both fell to the ground. Seeing this, my father-in-law dropped the things in his hands and came to support my mother-in-law. Even my son called, "Grandma." My mother-in-law, overwhelmed, kicked me twice angrily. "This useless thing, you fainted after cleaning so few things." My father-in-law helped my mother-in-law up and sat her on the sofa. Anong Junyong asked about her condition diligently. I just lay on the ground, and no one cared about me. A few people scolded me for a long time, and found that I was really unconscious, so they became worried. "Old lady, do you think we should call an ambulance to take her to the hospital since she's lying on the ground like this? It's free to call an ambulance. Apply some peppermint oil to her, and she'll wake up in a while." "Yongyang, you go. My son is really my own." He put peppermint oil on my eyes with his fingers, and I was so stingy that tears came out of my eyes. I couldn't pretend any longer, so I coughed weakly twice and woke up slowly. "Did I faint again?" Fan Junyong turned to his grandmother with excitement and said, "Grandma, I woke her up." After hearing this, my mother-in-law stood up, looked at me, and asked hypocritically, "Yen, what's wrong with you?" I raised my hand and pressed my temple with my fingers, pretending to be stupid, and said, "Mom, I'm fine. I've been feeling dizzy lately. I'll be fine after a good night's sleep." Hearing that I was fine, my mother-in-law put away her fake concern and said, "That's good. Go and rest first, and we'll clean up tomorrow. I can delay it for 1 day. Maybe I won't be in this house tomorrow." I nodded weakly, supported myself with my hands, and slowly stood up, holding on to the wall and returning to my bedroom step by step. Hang did not return home for another night. I got up as usual to make breakfast for the whole family, and just as I finished, I saw him enter the room with a strong smell of alcohol. When he saw me, he immediately showed a look of disgust. He was too lazy to speak, and went straight back to the bedroom to change clothes. My parents-in-law and Fan Junyong came out for breakfast on time. Came out after changing his clothes. His face was ashen, and he looked at me meaningfully. I served him a bowl of porridge as if nothing had happened and carefully observed his expression. I could clearly feel his disgust for me. He suddenly got angry and flipped the bowl, yelling at me, "It's all you. You made me lose the lottery ticket, and the 7 million yuan I got just flew away in vain." I said angrily, "You know how to vent your anger on me when you lose the lottery ticket? I am your wife, not your maid. You are unlucky, and you are not worthy of being my husband. I want to divorce you." As soon as these words came out, the remaining 3 people, I was instantly stunned. My mother-in-law was the first to react and advised, Sure hang, son, have you thought it through?" I knew what she meant. It would be hard to find another daughter-in-law as easy to handle and capable as me. I expected that she would prevent us from getting divorced, so I prepared the second step of the plan. Sure hang said solemnly, "Mom, I've thought it through. This jinx will only drag us down if she stays in our family." I squinted my eyes hard, squeezed out tears, and choked. "Fan Hang, you want to divorce me just because of that lottery ticket that no one knows who lost? We've been married for 10 years. I continued to choke and said in a trembling voice, "Are you really so cruel that you want to abandon me for a lottery ticket that may never be found?" My father-in-law also joined the persuasion at this time. He said in a deep voice, "Sure hang, marriage is not a joke. You two have been through so many ups and downs for so many years. You can't make a decision because of a momentary impulse." Sure hang seemed to have made up his mind. He responded coldly, "Dad, I know what I am doing. She must not stay in this family anymore." I sneered in my heart. He really saw the fake medical examination report of serious illness that I put in the bedroom. I pretended to be desperate and said, "Okay, since you are so determined, I will not force it. Divorce is fine, but I want my child." F. Hang was stunned for a moment. Obviously, he did not expect me to make such a request. He was silent for a moment, and just as he was about to speak, Fang Junyang took the lead. "No, I want to follow my father. I gave birth to him for 9 years, but I didn't expect to get such a sentence in return. But it's good this way. Now that I have seen the true face of the ungrateful wolf, I can resolutely break off everything in the past." My mother-in-law also joined the ranks of refusing. "Yongyang is the eldest son and grandson of our Fang family. Why do you take him away? How can a woman who knows nothing support my precious grandson?" F. Shang did not allow me to explain, and directly ordered me to leave. "In short, I am going to divorce. Bring me the marriage certificate now, and we will go to the Civil Affairs Bureau." I insisted on staying in the restaurant, and F. Shang went straight into the house and threw out my things. My mother-in-law couldn't help but go to persuade me, but after a while, she also took out my luggage with a gloomy face and threw it on the ground. "Hurry up and go through the formalities. Don't ruin our family's good fun here. It's unlucky." I squatted down, picked up my luggage with grievance, and walked out without saying a word. On the way, Fan Sh Hang and I walked to the processing window of the Civil Affairs Bureau in silence. The staff asked us the reason for the divorce, and Fan Hang answered first. "We are incompatible and can't continue to live together." I nodded calmly, and the staff continued to ask, "Has the child's custody and property division been discussed?" This was like Fang Hang's reverse scale, and he was furious. "What property is there to talk about? I bought the house and car. She has been eating and wearing my clothes for so many years, and she has never earned a penny for the family. Why should she share my property?" The people who were handling business around him couldn't help but look at us when they heard his arrogant and ruthless remarks. A newlywed couple who had just obtained their marriage certificate frowned at us, and the woman said with contempt, "If you dare to do this to me in the future, I will never let you go." The man said with a strong desire to survive, "I don't even be father to do such scumbag behavior." The staff looked at me helplessly, and I said to her with anger, "It has been negotiated. The child belongs to him, and I don't want the property anymore." The staff looked at me sympathetically, nodded, and began to handle the procedures for us to get the divorce certificate after the 30-day cooling-off period. I stood up and looked at Fang Hang deeply. Fang Hang looked at me with disgust, then turned and left. I secretly breathed a sigh of relief. When I walked out of the Civil Affairs Bureau, the second step of the plan was finally successful. As long as I survived the 30-day cooling-off period, I would have nothing to do with this family. I took a taxi directly to the apartment with my luggage. After putting down my luggage, I didn't want to do anything. I lay on the sofa and stared at the river view outside. I have to keep a low profile for these 30 days and not let Fang Hang find any abnormality. Otherwise, all efforts will fail. Every day when I open my eyes, I don't have to do anything. I can order takeout if I want to eat and do some exercise when I have enough rest. Except for finding excuses to deal with my parents' calls, everything else is fine. I haven't lived such a comfortable life for more than 10 years, without worries, without pressure, and life is simply too comfortable. Maybe happy time passes very quickly, and 30 days are gone in the blink of an eye. I changed into simple clothes and appeared in the Civil Affairs Bureau without makeup. Fang Hang's eyes lit up when he saw me. After all, I was not as decadent as he imagined, and my skin and figure were obviously better. I couldn't let him have any regrets, so I went to the processing window first. The staff took a look at us, collected our information, and quickly completed it, handing us 2 divorce certificates. Holding this paper to regain freedom, I almost couldn't suppress the corners of my mouth. Fang Hang quickly distanced himself from the relationship and said, "Susan, we have no relationship from now on. We have nothing to do with each other in life, death, and sickness." I sneered and replied, "Don't worry, I also hope to have nothing to do with you until we die." Fang Hang snorted coldly and got into the car without looking back. I returned to the apartment, took out my first prize lottery ticket, and, I changed my clothes and put on a mask, preparing to go out to receive the prize in disguise. When I saw the balance on the bank card, I really felt reborn, a free rebirth. My mother called worriedly, "Shun, you are divorced at this age. What can you do?" "Mom, how did you know?" "Hang has already posted it on his moments. How long do you want to keep it from me?" I sat up and opened Hang's moments. Wow. I can't wait to receive the prize, and he can't wait to announce his free status. You can go crazy with the right person only after you say goodbye to the wrong one. I burst out laughing and commented below, "I really want to go crazy after staying in your house for a long time." My mother listened to me laughing on the other end of the phone and asked me hurriedly, "My daughter, don't scare your mother." "Mom, I will go back and explain it to you face to face." After hanging up the phone, I bought a first-class ticket for the nearest flight and took a special car directly to my doorstep. After getting off the plane, my parents had already prepared my favorite dishes for me. They forced smiles but couldn't hide their worries. The three of us hadn't seen each other for 2 years. My unstoppable smile and their frowning brows were in sharp contrast. Unable to hide it from them anymore, I directly transferred 1 million to each of them. The moment they saw the amount, their eyes almost popped out. "My daughter, did Fan Shirhan give you so much money when you divorced?" I couldn't help laughing again. "Mom, do you think it's possible? A person who even thought the air ticket was too expensive for me to go home during the spring festival would give me 2 million? Even if their whole family sold together, they might not have 2 million. I won the lottery, first prize. A lot of money." My parents opened their mouths wide and couldn't speak for a long time. After completely digesting the news, they laughed so hard that they couldn't close their mouths. "Doesn't Shirhang know that you won the lottery? What about Yongyang? Why don't you bring him with you?" I sighed and told them everything about how Fan Shirhang's family treated me. My father was so angry that he slapped his thigh and said, "I felt that boy was unreliable at the time, and you insisted on marrying him." My mother's eyes were red, and she choked slightly, saying, "I called you all day and said that everything was going well, but it turned out that you were lying to us." Seeing that the atmosphere was a little wrong, I quickly laughed and said, "Oh, this is not the end of hardship, and it will be a good life in the future. But wealth should not be exposed, so let only the three of us know about my winning the lottery." My father nodded solemnly. "This is natural, and you should not be too ostentatious. This money is your support for the rest of your life." I hugged their necks with emotion. Sure enough, only my parents treated me sincerely. But it seemed against human nature to do nothing after winning the lottery, so I took my parents to join a luxury tour group. I spent 2 months playing like a tyrant, traveling all over the country. I was so ruthless that I couldn't help posting on WeChat moments after I came back. I bought a large flat for my parents in my hometown and changed the car. After this round of operations, I spent less than 3 million. I wandered around the house for a month without doing anything. It was not until the landlord contacted me to pay the rent that I realized I had been extravagant for 3 months. I thought about going back to pack my luggage and return to my hometown. Looking at the people coming and going at the airport for their lives, I suddenly felt that my life was meaningless. After staying in the apartment for 2 days, I seriously thought about my future life plan and finally decided to start my own business. But I had been a housewife for 10 years, and my cognition had long been out of touch with this society. For a while, I didn't know what industry I should be in. Over the years, I had developed a habit of cleaning up the house whenever I couldn't figure out something. In the past 2 days, the apartment had been cleaned by me. Suddenly, a light bulb flashed. I am most familiar with housekeeping. Maybe I can open a housekeeping company to test the waters first. As a man of action, I immediately started to do market research, and my target customers were middle and high-income groups. As a nanny, I began to apply for jobs at various domestic service companies in high-end communities, collecting the requirements of these employers for nannies and the salary expectations of nannies for employers. After several days of investigation, I had a rough idea in my mind. Today is the last community to visit. This one is a newly promoted high-end community. It is just because of the new commercial buildings and urban expressways in the surrounding area that the housing prices in this community have risen sharply. Wei, I'm your aunt. Are you home? We plan to visit your parents at your home. Walking in the garden of the community, a familiar voice came from behind, but the flattering attitude made me doubt that I had heard it wrong. Okay, we'll wait for you here. I looked back, and it was indeed my mean ex-mother-in-law. The moment our eyes met, she returned to her familiar look. Son, look, isn't this Susan F. sure? I looked up at me, and seeing my simple outfit, he frowned and walked over to me. Are you following me? I looked at him with contempt. Are you sick? His face sank. Hurry up and leave, don't embarrass me here. Mother-in-law echoed. That's right, my son found a partner not long after leaving you. And she's the daughter of a wealthy family, unlike you, who smells poor inside and out. I was about to fight back, but I caught a glimpse of a slightly plump girl behind me walking towards us with a drooping face. It's hot and sunny today, why are you here? You made me go downstairs to pick you up. When my ex-mother-in-law heard the voice, she immediately put on a smile and turned around. Wei. This is not because Auntie likes you more and more and wants Hang to marry as soon as possible. So I came to visit your parents today. Wei said unhappily, my parents are very busy, and I can't see them without an appointment. My ex-mother-in-law suppressed her temper and smiled. It's okay, Auntie brought you delicious food, and we will come next time when you make an appointment with your parents. Wei saw me standing still, looking straight at them and asked curiously, who is this person? Are you together? My ex-mother-in-law quickly distanced herself from the relationship and said, this person has nothing to do with us. We don't know him. I quickly said agreeably, although Hang and I are divorced, I am still Yongyang's mother. You don't have to be so mean. When Wei heard that I was Hang's ex-wife, she immediately became interested in me. Is she the selfish ex-wife you mentioned? She doesn't look like that, she said. Hang explained awkwardly, Wei, you can't judge a person by appearance. She abandoned her husband and children, and now she has retribution and has fallen to be a nanny. Hang, you slander me like this, right? I said. How can you slander me like this? You knew I was seriously ill, but you still cruelly kicked me out of the house and asked me to leave with nothing. I have been a nanny for your family for so many years. I have no credit, but I have worked hard. Now you are slandering me like this. When I was excited, I covered my face and coughed violently, which made me look even more miserable. Hang's face was livid, and he didn't dare to get angry at me in front of his new partner. My ex-mother-in-law couldn't help but come forward to help me, but in fact, she whispered in my ear to warn me. Susheryan, are you looking for death? Don't forget that Yongyang is also your son. I broke free from my ex-mother-in-law's hand and fell to the ground weakly, looking back at her in disbelief. Auntie, you used to be mean to me at home, and now you push me? I owed your family in my last life, right? At the beginning, I said I wanted to take Yongyang away, but you refused to let me. Now you want to use Yongyang to threaten me to shut up. You are so cruel. My ex-mother-in-law looked at me sitting on the ground, and then at the angry Wei, and was at a loss for a while. Hang came forward and wanted to hold her hand. Wei, listen to my explanation. What she said is not true. She is deliberately trying to destroy us. Wei was so scared that she retracted her hands behind her back and shook her head, saying, I will ask someone to clarify your matter. Don't come to me recently. She ran home after saying this. I couldn't help laughing when I saw her running fast. Hang and his mother glared at me angrily and yelled at me. You are such a jinx. You are dying of illness and you still want to drag us down. Look at your poor appearance. You must have no money to treat your illness and have to work as a nanny. This is your retribution. I stood up. I leisurely patted the dust off my body, raised my head and said confidently, What's wrong with being a nanny? A nanny makes money with her own labor and wisdom. Clean and upright. You think it's easy to take care of a home? Right. Housewives are just enjoying life at home, right? Let me tell you, you have to worry just as much as you do at work. Without us taking care of the home, you can't work so hard with peace of mind. I said everything I had held back before, and my mood suddenly became better. Applause suddenly broke out around me, and several women dressed as housewives probably couldn't help but applaud after hearing what I said. Sister, you said it very well. Yes, I hate people who ignore the efforts of housewives. Ask them to do housework and take care of children for a day. That's right. Who dares to marry someone who bullies a patient? Amidst the doubts, Fan Shihang and his mother stubbornly said, "What's your business?" and left in disgrace. I nodded to them gratefully. A girl who looked less than 30 years old approached me and asked kindly, "Sister, are you feeling better? I saw you fall just now." "I'm fine, thank you, sister." After the two sides communicated, I learned that her name was Luzone. She had just come to this community to work as a nanny. She chose this profession because she had younger brothers and sisters to support. Although this job was tiring, the income was high. It was a good choice for her with a low level of education. I saw that she was not very old, but she had a lot of work experience, so I couldn't help but add her contact information, thinking of asking her more about this industry. After a few visits, we became familiar with each other. When I told her that I wanted to start a housekeeping company, she immediately expressed her desire to join me. With the help of Luzone, my housekeeping company quickly became popular. She simply joined our company and was responsible for recruiting nannies. I also hired a salesperson, Chin Sha, to be responsible for talking to customers. In this way, I easily became a small boss, rented an apartment, and ran the company with Luzone and Chin Sha. In fact, I don't care how much this company makes. The key is that there is a place to rely on, and we can work hard for a goal together. In order to avoid repeating the same mistakes, I tried not to make myself too tired. After the company was on the right track, I took time to exercise and maintain my health. Life was so beautiful and promising. My parents occasionally came to see me and stayed for a while before going back. In the middle, I heard a small episode, and Luzone handed me her mobile phone with great interest. It turns out that day, Fan Shihang and his mother had a conflict that was filmed and posted online, which resonated with many people. People who stood up for the majority of housewives even dug up information about Fan Shihang and Weiwei. It turned out that Weiwei was not as rich as she said, but her parents had a good eye for investment and bought. I bought this house before the house price rose after learning the truth. Shihang no longer begged for reconciliation with a smug face, and even chased Weiwei to ask her to return the money she spent on their relationship. Weiwei was not a good person either, and she directly complained to his company, saying that he cheated on women's feelings. In addition, Shihang's family's mean ex-wife and the video that looked down on the group of housewives went viral, and she lost her job directly. Seeing their end added a lot of fun to my peaceful and happy life. Every day, I was very happy to chase Shihang's melons, but I didn't expect that one day I would eat my own words. "Hello, are you looking for a nanny?" I was sitting at the front desk, concentrating on opening a package when I heard the inquiry. I answered without looking up. "Yes, fill in the information here." When I took the form and pinned it to the reception desk next to the front desk, I saw that the person who came to apply for the job was my ex-mother-in-law. Seeing that I was full of energy and ready, she looked at me in surprise for several minutes. Her haggard and tired appearance also made me look at her a few more times. "What are you looking at? It's all your fault that our family has become like this." I frowned and retorted, "We don't hire nannies with bad attitudes here. Go away." "Hey, you little receptionist, dare to chase me away?" I was introduced by someone. "Do you know if you have connections?" I crossed my arms and asked calmly, "Whose connections do you have to be so strong?" "Of course it's your boss." I burst out laughing and asked curiously, "Do you know our boss?" "Of course. These things are not your turn to ask about. Hurry up and arrange a job for me." "I can't arrange it. First, you are over the age limit, and second, you are not capable enough and have a bad attitude. We can't afford you." The ex-mother-in-law was relentless and said she would complain about me. Juan came out after hearing the noise. "What happened?" "Call your boss out." "I want to complain." Juan looked at me in confusion. I shrugged. "Our boss is right in front of you." The ex-mother-in-law opened her mouth in surprise and couldn't speak. I pretended to be stupid and asked, "Then do you still want to complain?" You are an old woman with no money and no ability. Where did you get the money to start a company? You must be supported by a rich old man, right? The world is really going downhill. Being a mistress can be so righteous. I'm going to report you for supporting your company for illegal operation. Listening to her getting more and more outrageous, I pointed to the camera on the ceiling with a gloomy face. Auntie, our company has surveillance. If you slander me again, I can only report you to the police for defamation. The ex-mother-in-law looked at the camera fearfully, knowing that she would not get any good results if she continued to make trouble, so she had to leave cursing. Looking at her staggering steps, today's impact on her was not small. After a few days of peace, Cece, the front desk girl, suddenly came in with a bouquet of flowers and asked with a gossipy face, "Boss, who loves you?" I took it in surprise, opened the card, and quickly stuffed the flowers back into her arms. Take it away, take it away. Don't bring this unlucky thing in." Cece didn't understand and asked curiously, "Boss, do you know who it is?" "My ex-husband, that selfish and disgusting man." I recognized that handwriting at a glance. Could it be that my ex-mother-in-law went back and told him that I was the boss and he wanted to take advantage of it? Sure enough, he blocked me as soon as I got off work and left the company. Sure, Yen, after losing you, I know who treats me best. You have treated me wholeheartedly over the years, and I am so foolish to divorce you. I am simply not a human being. After saying that, he raised his hand and slapped himself in the face. The sound was crisp and loud. He was a ruthless person. I nodded and agreed. Yeah, I also think you are not a human being. He was embarrassed for a few seconds and continued with a thick face. I already know I was wrong. Please give me another chance for Yang's sake, okay? I will definitely treat you well in the future and listen to you in everything. Let's start over. I lowered my head and couldn't stop laughing, almost laughing to tears. Are you thinking that I am about to die? And when I die, my company and my money will belong to you. I immediately changed to a new car, satisfying the wishes of the whole family except for me. His eyes flickered when I touched his heart, and then his face changed, looking at me affectionately. Yen, you really have a big misunderstanding of me. I admit that I neglected you at the beginning, didn't know you were sick, and divorced you in a moment of impulsiveness. I know I was wrong now. For the sake of so many years of relationship, can you give me a chance to make a new start? He was about to hold my hand, and I stepped back several steps in fear. No. If you harass me again, I'll call the police. Chinsha came out from work and saw this scene. He didn't know what to do. I waved at him, and he immediately understood and came to protect me. What do you want to do? Get out of here. Fan Shang saw the tall Chinsha and wanted to argue with him, but when he saw his muscular body, he immediately backed off. When Chinsha took a step forward, he took a step back saying, Yen, I will let you see my sincerity. I will not give up so easily. Yongyang misses you too. I will bring him to see you next time. Looking at his back that finally disappeared, I helplessly supported my forehead and sighed. It seems that I have to hide for a while. Boss, where do you want to hide? I haven't traveled for a long time. I will travel for a year or two and see where it is suitable to open a branch. But before I travel, I have to find a lawyer to make a will. Otherwise, there will always be hidden dangers. FJ and Yang's custody is not with me, but he is still eligible. I decided to inherit my estate instead of leaving the money to an ungrateful person to squander. I might as well make arrangements early. Luan later told me that Fang came several times but couldn't find me. He left cursing and never appeared again. When his relatives and friends talked about his family, they all shook their heads. Fang, who couldn't find a job, had to rely on borrowing money to make a living. Junyang, who was poor in academic performance and got into trouble everywhere, stopped going to school after junior high and spent all day on the streets. In the end, he got into trouble and had to pay a huge sum of money. Fang was so angry that he had a stroke and was paralyzed in bed, which was more painful than death. The ex-mother-in-law took odd jobs to care for the old and sick ex-father-in-law. She didn't dare to stop even when she was sick. The family lived in dire straits. Lying on the sofa in the villa and watching gossip on the phone is really a different experience.